some good stuff uh, here. So what do we have really? Like we have this bear flag, right? Like if we're simplifying this, right? We have support here that we lost this morning. We have support here that we still have, and then we have massive resistance here. Okay, and we are in a bear flag, right? So if we go from here to here, we can see that we're simply in a bear flag, and we're losing that flag right now. So where would our targets be? Well, I would say the low. And we were talking about this last week where we want to see a spring. We want to see massive pain. They're not going to give a free ride to everybody who gets long in here. Okay, they are going to sweep it, and hopefully, this is the hope, we bounce and go. Then we get some little Wyckoff. OC shares the Wyckoff chart, and we all make money. Otherwise, we look for it to rotate down to here, and if we're going to lose this low, we look to go to 72. Okay, keeping it simple. Okay, whether we come down and then we bounce or go, it's not my decision to make. However, we are just consolidating in here. Okay, when we look at this here, we're just consolidating, trying to push. Okay, trying to hold these levels. If we look at volume generally in here, we can see that, we got quite a good amount of support here around 82. So that would be sweeping the lows, right? And if we lose that, you can see that we come pretty quickly down to about 72. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about there. Locally, so if this and that, what do we have? We had, I think it was like 14 Bart Simpson patterns last week. I think I counted. But you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12, 13 to start today, right? So what has this been doing? This is Chop City, right? This is really just grabbing liquidity, range bound trading. So we have gone like this, and then we've just been doing the Bart Simpson within that area, okay? And you can see it very clearly on here. So if you are able to take advantage like we were this morning and short this or long here or short here or long here, you can make a lot of money, okay? Like as a trader, I have been absolutely crushing this lately just because I've been able to, get onto these big moves, right? These big moves, I've been making lots of money because I've been patient enough to see the move happen. Then I take advantage of the volatility. One thing that we need to be aware of is that we could easily come back down into here. We're currently going towards my my pink box. Now we did bounce off my pink box on the weekend, and we're able to long this up to here, and then we were able to flip short today. But if we're looking at key levels here, what I'm looking for right now is for us to come into this area here at 86,000. This is a key area just below our value area low, but it is the last volume here. And if we go swing low to swing high, we can see that this is our macro Fibonacci level. Okay, so looking to hold that. If this, then that. Then we also have one down here at this low, which is also our 786. So we're looking for the bounce possibly from there and there. If we look at some of our indicators here, we can see that we're way below the dynamic reactor. This thing continues to roll over. We do have sell walls all the way up here, but this morning, they always going to sell you a dream, right? I always suggest that you guys look for the dynamic reactor to kind of guide you on your journey of where we are. And you can see, like, since we lose the low in here, okay, we can see that, we haven't really been able to push out. They get everybody this morning trapped because they bounce off the lows here. They push it up. Everybody gets bullish this morning. They fake us out to the upside, and they dump it on everyone's head. Now, if you're not able to identify this, you're going to be wrecked, right? Because we got long down here last night. And then we have a Adam and Eve pattern here. So you can see whenever you get a triangle and a rounded top, this is an Adam and Eve. Okay, and this typically breaks to the downside here. But the thing is identifying it here that, one, we're overextended. Okay, and you can see how this has called it pretty well, the dynamic reactor here on the short-term time frames. But when we're overextended here, we have a very aggressive move out last night. So typically, if you've looked at the market anytime we do that, we do this. Anytime we do that, we do this. Okay, we don't have to be rocket scientists here to understand. Anytime we do that, we do this. Anytime we do that, we do this. And that is this. That. Okay, it's on repeat. So it's our job to identify when we're overextended and how to jump onto this, okay? And we can make lots of money if we do that, right? So this morning, I was able to long Solana for about $4,500, which was pretty sweet. And then, so we took this long on Solana because I could see strength in Solana on its Bitcoin pairs. So I could see the strength on Solana here. So we managed to get long here and take this all the way up to here. And then we were able to long it here, I believe. And then we were able to flip short here and flip short here. And I'm up 14 grand today. So it was a very, very good trading day for me, but it's understanding the market, what it's going to do, trapping people, and we're looking right now. We're looking for some structure, right? We're looking for structure here on Solana. Same with Bitcoin, looking for structure. Order block needs to get up here, right? So right now, looking to come down to 86,000. Don't fade the trend. It's obviously rolling over. Look at NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ's absolutely shit the bed today, right? So if NASDAQ fails to make higher highs and higher lows, then we look for a continuation down. Very simple, right? We don't have to complicate it. Right now the trend is down, so we look for retest, continuation down until we have strength in structure, which suggests we can go back up. So if this, then that. So for me right now, shorts are in play. Looking for pullbacks, looking for the order block retest in here, continuation down. Even if we get bottoming structure, get everybody bullish, I would still look for the short back down into this area. If we get structure down into this area, 86,000, right, we could possibly jump long here, but remember it should be a retracement trade. Why? Because we are in a downtrend, right? So we would look to take this further down. If this, then that. So that's how I prepare. What we have to understand is the behavior of the market. Okay, it's trapping traders, dumping on their head. Trapping traders, pumping on their head. Trapping traders, right? And anybody who's too emotional in this area, they're gonna get absolutely wrecked, right? If you're late to the short down here, you're wrecked, right? If you're late to the long over here, you're wrecked, right? So it's about being patient, letting the price materialize, which does take some time, right? You can see it takes some time to get to key areas, right? But eventually it plays and then you can jump on the direction. You don't have to jump into it in here or up here or up here. You can just wait for direction to be given and you follow the direction. And that's how I've been able to make lots of money on this market. And hopefully that helps you guys. So we're looking for a bounce right now from 86,000. We'll see if we get it.
Let's get it. So let me bring up a couple of things in here and let's do a quick explanation on the bots. By the way, guys, remember, if you guys are variants in here, you should be having the role called Samurai. That gives you, by the way, I see Lucky Deal in here. Let me see if you have Samurai. And yes, you have Samurai. All right. So, and if you're a Samurai, remember you can jump in here to discuss anything that you want. Feel free to do so. You are a Samurai. That means that you are not only here for a long time, but you're also helping the community. And a special perk that we have for you, it is jumping in here for a verbal discussion or asking questions. If you want the Samurai role, remember to be active in the channels and help out with the community. That is a given role. That is an earned role. It's not a pay for role. So just so you guys know. All right, so let's go. Let's jump in here and let's take a look at the Prime automation. By the way, just so you know, I do have like $2,000 on my personal account on Prime automation, and that is because I keep changing things. All right, so I still put part of my money there, and I have opened up a small account for you guys to grind with me. All right, and we're going to be looking at this $94 account. Well, it started with $100 account. And we're going to see how that plays out just as a point of reference. So you don't need like $1,000. You don't need like a $2,000. You don't need, I mean, $100 on an account. That's still fine as long as you follow some rules. So let me share my screen really quickly. And let's see. Let's go application. Yep. And let's go for this one here. And remember, if you have echo or something, remember to right click on my screen share and then mute the screen share. Not me, but the screen share, if that makes sense. Okay, so getting started, once you log in, this is what you're gonna be seeing, right? And I started with $100. Right now I have $94. All right. So, and you will see also a couple things in here. You see daily profit and loss, right? You see loss on December 8th, December 9th, a little bit loss, and then December the 13th, I have some wins in here. Something important that you need to understand about bots. Bots are for the long term. Even the ones that are highly, how they're marketed, frequent entries and exits, all right? So highly trading rate, even those take a longer time to enter that you might possibly expect. All right, if you're thinking that you're gonna be opening a bot and then it's just gonna magically enter into a trade, it is not going to happen that way. All right, why? Because the bots work like have the rules of a real human trader. All right, rules. And then most of these bots, based on mathematics, they search for, oh, there we go. Thank you, Little Fish, for sharing that. And that based on mathematics, they search for patterns, for winning patterns. All right. And based on those winning patterns, they bet on those winning patterns. How does that work? Well, a bot usually goes through a set of rules and then start looking for winning patterns. Once it finds a winning pattern, it goes back in time and does like a 1 year worth of back testing. All right. So you have somewhere around 1 year or even longer. Once it shows, mathematically speaking, that is profitable by not changing any single thing on that strategy, well, then we run some more tests. We test fire it, and then after every one of us test it, well, then it's being prepped for launching. Okay, and that has to do with how bots work. Let's first go to the Bitcoin chart, for example, or better yet, give me 1 second. I'm going to bring up a couple of examples in here for you. So 1 second, please. And I might have it over here. Oh, here it is. All right, let me jump in here and then let's open this up. Okay, this is an example of how a swing failure pattern bot will trade. All right. So, for example, you'll see that, let's just say that you open up your bot in here, right? And that is to be expected because remember, for the last 2 weeks, look at where we have or what have we been doing. Let's go to the 4 hours. And right here, you can clearly and cleanly see what is the market direction, which is sideways. All right. Let me also turn off everything here so we have a clean picture. All right, like this. And you'll see that we're moving sideways, all right? And based on sideways movement, this is a transition zone. On a transition zone, well, the price action is doing quote unquote nothing because look at that. We are exactly the same zone that we were on November, on Wednesday 26th. All right, November. And then we came back at the same zone in here. And then roughly on the same zone. And then right now at the same zone, right? So you see, we haven't actually moved like we moved, for example, in here, or like we moved, for example, in here. It's true that we always get some transition zones like this ones, right? But this transition zone, it's being longer. So if you've been here, for example, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, well, you are on nothing, on a burger of nothing, right? Nothing burger. Why? Because the damn thing is just moving sideways. So you will need like a 1 minute or a 3 minute bot, which we don't have at a time. We have somewhere like a 30 minutes bot that is highly rate of trading scenarios, but
You can't replace me.
exactly, we cannot replace. I mean, we've been trying. We even cloned Alex on crypto, and we have like a big giant crystal tube, and we're trying to leech stuff out of his mind, and no, can't be done, bro.
Love it.
Maybe we're leeching the wrong part of your body right out to get something out of you. Bad joke.
Bad joke.
Bad joke. All right, scratch that thing. Oh man, because this is going to go to YouTube. All right. I'll see, kid. Your fucking mouth shut. All right. So you will see that for the past 14 days or even longer, we've been in here, right? And it's not just me telling you. Let's actually go over here and let's take a look at some news that I brought up from X marked the spot, right? This Frank A. Fetter, and this was reposted for Glassnode, all right? So Glassnode repost Frank's post, all right? Look at this. Short term, all right, holders, paper hands, all right, experience the biggest 7-day exchange in their cost base since the 2022 FTX button. What does that mean? In the shorter period, look at that, we can see that little transition zone, right? Just like it happened here, just like it happened here, just like it happened here, right? Just like it happened here, transition zone. All right. But especially this one, right? Particularly this one, we have seen paper hands losing their patience, right? And selling out. That also means two things. First, what is the max pain, right? And by the way, it's a little lower. So bear in mind that we should be going lower. Thus, looking at what Alex was mentioning, a good area of entry will be a little bit lower, all right? And second is that we're not going anywhere while we're shaking the tree, right? So we're just shaking out paper hands. So, I mean, since the 2022, we haven't seen a short-term, right, change in their cost base right now on Bitcoin, on the Bitcoin side. What does that tells us? That tells us that we're getting prepared, that we are in a transition zone, right? That we're shaking out the paper hands, and that we are also preparing for a possible long, right? That doesn't mean longer right now. It means longer where you have the appropriate data. Where do we have that appropriate data? Look at that, somewhere around 87, going for that swing failure pattern or double bottom, all right? Once again, confirming not only what we have seen with the bots, not trading, but maybe losing some money, all right? And also pair what Alex is saying. Hey, be careful because we could be looking for a possible retracement, all right? Let's go back into the bot talking. When you have, because remember, this is the range that we're seeing, all right? This is the range that we're seeing, and this is one of the early bots that I configured myself, right? So I know exactly when it entered, and I know exactly where it exit. And this is real data that I snapshot, right? And then brought it to you. There's a couple of things that I need to keep secret, of course. First, bot name, release date, and so on and so forth. But this is how it works. Look at that. It's doing a swing failure pattern right here, low, dead cat bounce, swing failure pattern, bounce up, enter, right? Fantastic entry, but we're looking for profitability here, right? And we don't have a trailing stop loss. So we got a hit. Perfect. Loss. Small loss. Look at how big of that loss is. All right, perfect. Then we go lower. We have another swing failure pattern here, right? And then we go straight to that stop loss. Perfect. Another loss. That's fine, right? And this is where most newbies, right? And don't take this the wrong way when I say newbies. We all were newbies at some point. They start, like, dude, we're losing and we have an AI bot activated, right? So, like, or we have just a bot activated. Why am I losing money? Well, it is because of how bots trade, right? And then it goes back down, detects another swing failure pattern, and ding, ding, ding. This time it did the TP number 1 and then came back down, right? And this one was a little win. Well, actually bigger win. Look at that. Not only that, this one compensated for these 2 losses. Then one more loss straight down, did not hit your first target, right? And then finally at the bottom of this area, it measures the swing failure pattern and enters for the trade. And this one makes for all of the losing trades, all right? And this is because this is a pattern hunting bot, all right? Scratch the part when I say AI. That was just an example. This is not an AI bot. This example is not an AI bot. This is a pattern trading bot, all right? And then you can see the same thing going around. So on the way down, because this bot trades on the way down, all right? So hunts for swing failure pattern, And then this one did not hit the profitability zone, so it's stop loss. And then finally another one, and it was a huge trade, right? So in between these two trades, you just not only cover your losses, but you duplicated your trading account. All right. So look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses almost in a row. But with those two, well, then that's what you cover for not only all of your losses, but also you make a profit. That's usually how a trading bot works, right? And proof of that, it is right here. Look at my account. Loss, bigger loss, smaller loss, and then bigger win. You see now how I start covering for my gain, for my losses? Look at this one in here compared to this one, right? And you can see, since this is a $94, I'm just doing a very small percentage. It trades dollars on the thing. But remember, this is a proof of concept. We're starting with $100 and we'll see how that goes through the next year. We're going to keep tracking of this public account for the full year. All right. All right, perfect. Now, let's go and take a look at how to select your bots. Depending on the plan that you have, you will have access to 3 different kind of bots. You will have access to TradeStation bots, right? So stock bots, crypto bots. Also, both the crypto bots can also be part of the TradeStation, and your crypto bots can also be part of Bluffing or a BitGet. All right, and then of course you have AI bots, crypto bots, and stock bots. All right, so those are the 3 categories. Let's go to new bot and let's go to algo bot. All right, this is a little mixed up. I know I clicked on the algo bot. All right, but take a look at here that in sometimes or most of the cases, and let me see if this was fixed. Oh yeah, it's already fixed. All right, it's already fixed that it doesn't tell you AI. Before you could see AI in here. Let me show you how the AI bot looked like. AI bot, and it just have, where is it? An AI. Oh, it not longer. All right. It used to have a little badge in here. Nonetheless, if you go to dashboard, you can see there is AI bot. All right. Just so you know. Important, before we continue, importance on how the AI bot works. AI bot, it's constantly learning. It's running on a different server that we hosted, and we keep training it with new data, or it keep training itself. So just like a real trader, on transition zones where we are, is to be expected its profitability to lower, right? As it learns that what is the main pattern and constitute a profitability factor, all right, then you can start trading the ranging zone or the transition zone, all right? And then it's much better when it's either uptrending or downtrending. Just so you guys know, once again, the AI bots tend to be a little bit worse when we are on transition zones, but they tend to be way much better when we're trending, all right? So one compensates the other one. Ultimately, AI bots are much better, generally speaking. Okay. Now, let's go and take a look at, for example, how to select a bot. Let's go over bots, algo bots, and right here, the first thing is that, oh, yeah, a little caveat here. If you go all the way down, you will need to do some side scrolling, right? If you don't have the side scrolling, and I need to report this, but you just go lower, here's your scroll bar, all right? There it is. Another thing, let me see if I can zoom out. No, you cannot zoom out. You will have to side scroll this, all right? Right here to your right, you will see this graphic, right? And this is where most of the confusion comes from, all right? You will say, hey, why am I losing in a losing trade if this is a 284% in profits? And this is because this is the total profit and loss since its inception. Since its inception on a back testing scenario, if that makes sense. So it will calculate back all the way back, and then, well, you'll see on the last 7 days, on the last 30 days, so on and so forth. All right. Let's go, before we subscribe to it, let's go and take a look at the metrics. This is going to be very important. Let's click the metrics. All right. once we have the metrics, you have two different things, or one very important thing. This is right here, you see, strategy launched. This is where the strategy was launched to you guys. All right here. So you absolutely don't have a 248% because that 288% started on November the 15th in here, right? All the way here, November the 15th, right? And just like in, let me show you another example in here. Let me see if I can get it. One sec, because this is gonna also help understand a couple of stuff. Oh, I see. It's already deleted. Sorry, I lost it, but that's fine. Let me just do this here really quickly. Let me copy this thing. All right, and let's paste it in somewhere where I can draw. Okay. Let's wait a second for my PC to wake up and give me the snipping thing. Come on. Oh, here it is. Let me copy it. And let's go to TradingView. On TradingView, I'm just going to scroll over here, right? And let's go to a cleaner chart. Here it is. And let's paste it. Why not? Here it is. Okay. Very important. What if you have had, or what if you open up your bot in here? Where is the vertical lines? What if you open up your bot, I don't know, in here? Right there, right? That means you would have maybe one profitable trade and then a losing strike in here. You see a losing strike because it's coming down. And then a winning strike all the way, almost all the way up in here. Minus here, minus here, minus here, minus here. All right? So at this point, what are we seeing? We're seeing a lower low in here. So that indicates that probably we are on a transition zone, just exactly as we had right in here. Look at that, high, lower low, transition zone, and then profitability. All right. But that is part of opening a bot right here. So what would I advise? Well, I would advise to look at your chart, right? And then once you look at your chart, especially Bitcoin, right? Are you on a support? And if you're in a support and you think that we could be bouncing up, that is a good area to start opening new bots. Like, for example, after this week, I'm going to be adding more bots to my setup, all right? Just so you guys know. So let's go and take a look at another one in here and explain a little bit on that. Let's go back. And then I want to go into an older bot. I don't know. Let's go this one here. Look at it. JTO. All right. JTO had 159 people have used it. And that is because it tends to be very profitable, but also have scared a lot of people. And that's because they don't know how bots work. All right. But let's take a look at that once again. Look at that. Look at the launch point. Right at the launch point, look at that. It started going into a losing strike. Look at that, losing streak. And then after the losing streak, boom, right now, massive gains. So, I mean, I even had a comment saying, hey, thank you because you told me to hold it, right? And the point is not telling you to hold it. I did not tell that guy to hold it. I explain how things work, right? So it's up to you whether you want to hold it or not. But also look at how this works. In this case, it went up and then way lower and then way back up and then a little low, right? And then up and then a slightly bit down, right? And then it makes a massive gain, right? And then does another massive gain and a massive loss. But also the gains, compounding those gains, get you to right now 166% profit and loss since 9th of December. Dimitri, I'm sorry, that is out of the scope on this. I will not be able to do that today. We're just dedicating here in here. I mean, going to the settings for a custom bot, that is a full class. We have a video for that. But absolutely, we maybe can visit that in the upcoming classes. But for today, that is a complex topic that we already don't have enough time to cover. All right. But I promise that we can visit that tomorrow. All right. So at this point, hey, when was it launched? That is a very important question. You need to see, hey, I mean, because many people tell me, I open up the bot for a 1 week and I don't have 166. What is the matter with that? Well, that's because when you open it, maybe you open it at the top when it launched and it went down, and then you just have maybe a 7-day, right, win rate, which is just 11%. But remember, bear in mind that 3 days ago, this was a negative. It was a negative. Once again, why? Because this kind of bots react this way, right? They hunt a known pattern. Not only a known pattern, but a mathematical search pattern, mathematical proven pattern. All right. So let's also go, for example, in my own case. What kind of bot would I choose? I don't like to have these very risky movements. Yes, look at the kind of gains we have, right? That is fantastic, but it's not something that I want, that I like, right? Me as my own person, this is not something that I would choose for myself. You can choose it if you want to, but what I will look for is a slow, steady growth, right? That's what I want to see, especially if I'm a beginner, because that will push me not to lose my mind, right? When I start seeing the thing going in the opposite way. For example, Pingu, look at that. Pingu seems pretty good, but also very important. This is a algo bot, right? This is not an AI bot. And another thing, this is it is meme coin. That is the word, meme coin, which means these dips in here, these dips are significant dips. All right. So, for example, this is what again? I don't want to call it shade coin, but it's a shade coin, right? So remember, this is a significant dip. So am I willing to hold that thing? Let's just say that I'm a beginner trader. I would not recommend you doing that. Although, if you are okay with the losses that this will represent at some point, you will be also very well rewarded, all right? So, but for me, let's just go, for example, this cake one, all right? It's at 2%. In 60 days, it's a loss. Why is it a loss? Because in 60 days, maybe we longed it here and then had a couple of losses. And right now, it's just starting to get back on its feet, all right? But if you take a look at it, historically speaking, right, means that most likely, it's not a guarantee because these are possibilities, right? You have like a 248 chances that it will grow on you. Very important here. If we turn into the bear market, this is gonna greatly change because everything is going down, and especially in altcoins, we're gonna see a lot of money going away. That doesn't mean that you're going to lose your account. That doesn't mean anything like that. It only means that you need to be prepared, right, for seeing some red numbers in here. In the meantime, right, we cover, or the bot cover for its losses over time. How do we know that? Because we have back tested it, all right? So let's go and do, for example, Dogecoin in here, right? So let's actually do Dogecoin. So 7 days, it's been not that profitable. And Alex, if you need to go, I know that it's already a little too late for you. I'm just going to wrap this up. And if you need to go, that'll be all right.
All right, bro. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good luck with OC. Remember, it's only Monday. Lots of trading to happen. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Alex. See you, brother. All right, so I would be going for possibly cake, right? Or possibly, look at it, this Dogecoin in here. Again, remember, Dogecoin is not like Bitcoin. This is a shitcoin, right? This is a meme coin, which means little retracements might represent a bigger percentage that I might be willing to do. So I can go for example, this TAO, look good, but it seems like this is a 1 hour time frame, which means I will be maybe taking a trade once every 15 days. That's not that, right? And remember, not more trading means more profit, right? In fact, Well, less trading sometimes means more profit. So let's see. Render. All right, Render. I like Render. It's a 400 overall historically and recently has an 8%. I'm expecting possible a drop down. So I could maybe skip it. Look at this. Last trade, it was a 6%. That was a pretty good one. It's still pretty good overall scenario. Last week, not as profitable, but this is a 30 minutes. So I think since this has been on a range, I think we could be seeing that little drop and then push. All right. And another one that I've seen, for example, is this one, Monero. So I can actually look for either Monero or APT. Those one are good candidates for me. So let's go over Monero. I'm going to click subscribed. It's going to be letting me know this is not financial advice. You are in control, so you should be able to move and change your own settings, right? Setting risk acknowledgement. Remember, it does involve a risk. Not because for the last year it's been profitable means that for the next year it will be profitable. But mathematically speaking, the risk is slightly lower than the risk is slightly lower. All right, if that makes sense. What is it? Execution responsibility, right? Third-party content. Remember, we also depend on third parties like your broker, so on and so forth. And in the identification, once you read this and you agree, remember by clicking this, right? You agree. So connect and automate. So the next thing that we're seeing, it is, hey, all right, how much am I going to be risking? This is very, very important. I just keep it as default, as is, guys. Why? Because this is defined, this is set to actually, this is how you got those 300% gains, all right? Of course, if you do this, if you go higher, all right, well, right here, 80% of your account, guys, this is not risk management. Yes, you are in control. You can do that. But I mean, who am I to tell you how much to trade in your account, right? You want to trade 100%? Go for it, but you're going to get burned, all right? 100% all in. Let's fucking go. Let's get it. Yeah, and then let's do 100x. Of course, we only get to 5, depending on the coin, right? But this is where you should be smart about this, right? What would a professional trader tell you, right? I mean, when Alex jumps into a trade, how much does he risk, right? So the difference between a human mind and a bot that is trading is the adaptability, all right? Alex Crypto, for example, and myself, we're looking at swing failure patterns, double bottoms, triangles, bear flags, areas of liquidity. And the areas of liquidity, we look at them daily, right? But for sake of making things simpler, right? And keep numbers constant and predictable, which is the case. Predictability is the key, right? So we want to be predictable positive, right? Because we need to keep predictability. Instead of doing that much adaptability, all right, we cut down the adaptability and reduce the factors of risk. All right, less things to do. Perfect. Less risk because you need to keep your eyes on less things, and then you can focus on being an expert on a smaller set of skills. All right. So that means also that I'm gonna be doing a 10%. All right. Let's see, 8% or whatever. Right. It's close to the 10%. There it is. And remember, I'm doing a 100 bucks account. Right now, that implies that I'm just risking, what is it, $9.44. So guys, am I gonna go buy a Lamborghini out of this bot on this account? Of course not. All right. And well, maybe on the next cycle. But leverage position will give me a 28. Remember, keep your leverage under control. I tend not to change this. 3, it's a good starting point, right? Lighter maybe. Hot Wheels Lambo, let's go. No, but I guarantee you that over time, like, right, we're gonna have some great dinners out of this bot, right? With this $100 account. Nonetheless, we're gonna be compounding this. I'm gonna be showing you how I do and manage my gains. Once we duplicate our account, I'm gonna show you how to put it in compound savings and like over explode like the potential of your account, right? But that will come for time. So right now I'm doing 10%, just 10%, because I want to add more bots, right? So if I do 100%, I will not be able to add another bot because I already have locked down 100% of my account on this bot. And if I try to add another bot, I'm going to get a not enough funds, a kind of thing. All right. So 10%, and let's do 3x, right? And even if you go to 4x, look at that high leverage warning, right? In this high leverage warning, you know that 4x is such a high leverage, right? But this is based on newer traders, right? That they don't have the feel for how the crypto market moves, right? And well, to keep you guys safe, that's why we do a range, right? And you can see the range between 2x and 5x. So 3x, it's a good starting point. That's where all of my bots sit at right now. Okay, let's do start bot. And just like magic, here it is. Successful bot copied successfully. Where is it? Where is it gone? All right, so I can go into my dashboard in here at the top, right? And then scroll down, and I don't see it. Oh, no, yeah, I see it. All right, but sometimes you will not see it. So the only thing that you need to do is go all the way to the top, click refresh, and then it will appear. So far, XR or XMR, right? So Monero, right? At a 10%. Look at that. Everything is at 10%. Everything is at 10%, right? And then you say open trade. No. And right here, I'm not expecting Monero to take a trade within the next 1 or 2 weeks. I know this because let's actually go and take a look at the Monero thing. And again, guys, the algo bots does not trade just like a human bot. So if you're saying, hey, this should be trading like this, no, it's trading a specific pattern. Remember, predictability comes from repeatability. All right, so let's go take a look at that. Monero XLM, here you go. We got it in here. All right, let's bring that up. And again, we are in a range. Not only we are in a range, we have a bearish, oh man, I always forget the name of these things. What is it? Divergence, all right? There is divergence and then some support. So if I'm looking to actually profit from this, I would do let me show you. I could do a alert in here, somewhere around the base. And then after this thing retraces and then start pushing up, that's when I open up my bot. All right. If you want like quote unquote instant or faster trading. So you will have to wait. I don't like that. If I like a bot, how it looks, I just open it and I'm okay with the initial possible losses. Why? In this case, because it's on a range at the top of a bigger range. What is it? What is the way? The way is lower. Let me read a couple of your questions. Gare says, is there a way that the bot choose the leverage according to the market movement, or or it doesn't exit? No, there's not an automated way. So far, we have experimented with that, but here's what we have found. All right, it works better, but initially it's more scary, if that makes sense. Because sometimes you'll see a high leverage, right? And then, I mean, it start getting some, like, you start worrying about it. So I don't think that's going to be an option that we're going to be adding. And single thing that you see, it's based on the base leverage that we have set. So it's 3x at a 10%. So to have a closer results to what you see on your charts, you need to keep it at 3x, 10%. Shell, has anyone paper trade with the bots in bluffing? I have 50 per USD. You can actually trade it. That's perfectly fine. I'm not, because I've already have done it for a long time manually. And then, well, those bots, based on the mathematical factors, I'm good enough with that. Important, if you want to start trading, remember, you don't need to do a 10%. You can do a 3%. With your 50K wallet, you can do a 3%, right? So something small and keep it. and keep it. I mean, and you just need to wait for a little bit. Important. Remember that on December, we tend to see a pump in the markets right before the dump. So wait for the dump. And while we're dumping, getting to a big support area, that will be a good area to start considering opening or copying a bot. Why? Because it's not going to enter right away. And then when it finds support, you're going to be jumping in for the dead cat bounce trade, if that makes sense. All right. So that would be it for me right now. Let me close this up. And if you have any more questions, I will be able to answer a couple of them. And let me know. My pleasure, my friend. My pleasure. Is there a glossary of terms for the bot description? I don't think so, but Shell, I'm a little confused. I think, and I'm thinking wrong, of course. I see that now. And we want to make things much easier for you. We thought that it was simple enough, but let me know. What is the terms that it doesn't, like you would like to see? We can probably build it for you. Can you answer my question? This explains a lot. When you activate a bot, it will not stop until you decide to exit. Exactly. Yes. Can you use them with a trading strategy like Alex to make it more profitable? And no, you cannot, because you will be messing with the predictability, with the finding factor. You can, however, create your own bot on the strategy builder and then outsource it to the prime automation. That's something that you can do. You can replicate your own strategy and then export it, but very careful. I do advise, when you're doing your own strategy, to back test it with the included back testing tool from TradingView, right? And back test it for at least a year. And then if you have good results and your drawdown it's above 80%, go for it. All right. But yeah, that will be the way to do it. Thank you so much. My pleasure, my friend. I need a mentor here. Count with me, my friend. Will be successful at this. I bet you will. Come to the classes. That's what the classes are here for. To answer any and all of your questions. They don't need to be indicator exclusive. We can talk about psychology, simple terms, how to enter and exit trades, right? Bare basics. The most important part of these classes, I think, are first the examples of how me and Alex trade, how we apply the concepts, and second, to get the this is killing me right now. I have a reflection here. And get your how you call them? Oh man, your foundations built. All right. In many cases, we have new members or newbies. Again, don't take it the wrong way, right? Newbie traders, not asking the most simple questions, which are the most important because they are a little, I don't know, shy, right, about the simple questions. And no, brother, please come here and ask the simple questions. Foundational speaking, that is the most important part. With how much money, it's better to start. However you want, whatever you are willing to leave there for a long time, my friend. For me, like with just a proof of concept, I have 2 accounts, all in. don't do all in. Don't do all in. But like, I'm starting the proof of concept with you guys with $100, just so you know that you don't need a lot of money to start with. And then on my personal account, I have a 2,000 account on the bots. All right. So it's just like the 2 middle grounds, right? With how most of the people start, and in both cases, right? With the low ball and the center ball, if that makes sense. The average. How about demo accounts in bluffing? You know what? I don't really know. Let me because I never use them. Let me ask the devs and I get back to you at that. All right. Because to be honest, I straight in dived in. I mean, when you look at the mathematics for myself, and I understand that this is not the same for everyone, right? I get a certain degree of confidence, and I know how kind of like how long it will take to get some profits and stuff, right? So that's why from my account I just dedicated 10% if it's a smaller account to grow it faster, and I never go above 3x. But yeah, are any having exclusive bot classes? No, we're not having it. Are we having exclusive bot classes? No, but we can do it. I mean, we can dedicate one class of exclusively to bots. Like we can do Tuesdays, maybe Tuesdays bots. Would that? I mean, but after this class, I hardly think that we're gonna be seeing anything new. What is the percentage in your 2000 bot account up to, and how long have you had it running? You don't mind answering? No, absolutely. I don't mind answering. I don't have it open right now, but it's somewhere around a 15% growth, and I have it open since around 6 months ago or something like that. But remember, I'm part of the dev team or the testing team. All right, so yeah. How can we watch this class again? It will be on the class recordings here. And I'll label it bot class. Pablo, we have already a video set up for that. I think it's very comprehensive, but once again, I'm already a seasoned trader, right? So we want to hear you out, and if you can, let me just push it here for you. If you can do us a review on like what is it not comprehensive here, we will be very grateful, and we can work on some more videos about it. But let me just find it. Just do YouTube Prime Animation. And then let me copy that thing for you. 1 second. Just waiting for my internet. Oh, here it is.
You're faced with all of these amazing strategies. The question is how.
Here it is. The YouTube page. It has already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos and 2 reproduction lists. So check it out. Is there a demo mode for back testing bots? The back test is already in the settings. Oh, got it. That will be just like Daga mentioned with the strategy builder, but you will have to create your own, if that makes sense. If not, the back testing, just letting it run with no money and just look at how it works, if that makes sense. Or just put like a $1 thing in there. But the back test is in the settings. It's in the. Let me show you. And there it is. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Daga. All right, guys. So I need to prepare for a hackers class. Thank you so much for joining. Let's do this tomorrow. We're gonna be also picking up on bots and custom bots. And other than that, thank you guys so much for joining. And as always, see you guys tomorrow.